Ever since its release on the 2nd of July, I've spent over 100 hours in the first Descendant, and currently the hardest challenge contained within the game is beating every single hard mode boss, so I set out on a journey to be able to complete just that. Will I conquer the toughest challenges? How many ultimate characters am I able to get within these 100 hours? And what mastery rank do I finish this challenge at? Straight away you get the choice of your first Descendant, which is an important one. All three of these characters are obtainable following this choice, but obtaining new Descendants can cost quite a lot of your time, so making the right choice is crucial. The three options were Viessa, Lepic and Ajax, and I ended up going with Lepic. He seemed the easiest to understand, but above all, his traction grenade very much caught my eye. After the choice of our Descendant, we meet up with Bunny and traverse through the tutorial mission, learning all of the controls there is to know about this game. And after the fact, we get introduced to the main antagonist of this game, Karel. He sends down a Gravewalker, and this fight acts as our first introduction to the Intercept missions, the main boss fights of this game. We take him down and return to Albion, the main hub of the game. Now before anything, I actually had some rewards to accept for participating in the beta of this game, so I went and got those, then I spoke with the guide, and then with Alpha as well, who is a retired Descendant and the head honcho around here, and he gave us our first assignment, which was clearing out a nearby area. Spoiler alert, every assignment in this game is clearing out the nearby area. We get down to Kingston, we speak with Marcus and complete all of the field missions nearby for the 3 zones contained within Kingston and completing the operation missions in the area as well. These act as the final missions to complete beyond the field missions in order to actually finish the area. Plus, during my time completing Kingston was when I actually achieved my first mastery level up too. In the current state of the game, mastery ranks don't attribute all too much to your prolonged success in the game, but act as a way to track how much of the game you've completed. All of the XP that you garner for every single different weapon and Descendant all go into your mastery rank, and the higher the mastery rank typically means that the person has used a more diverse range of Descendants and weapons. With Kingston complete, we return to Albion and talk with Seneca, who introduces us to our first official Intercept battle. Remember that Gravewalker from earlier? Well, we have to take him on once more, but for real this time. Despite how menacing he might look, he is the weakest Intercept battle in the entire game, so even my level 9 self found little difficulty in being able to defeat him. And for taking it down, we received the Bunny code, which was the last part that we needed to be able to craft Bunny, our second Descendant. You're basically forced to get Bunny, but we take those. Since the Gravewalker was so easy, I decided to kill him a few more times just to farm some of the equipment that he drops. And next, we were off to the Sterile Lands. We get introduced to Sharon and Jeremy.
I think carefully about why you've been designated as a bait, and I'm going to do things my way. Don't even think about tagging along.
And there's no nice way to say this. Jeremy's a bitch. Anyone that's played the game knows Jeremy's a little bitch. Okay, anyway, once again, we went round and completed all of the field missions and operation missions located in all 4 of the zones contained within the Sterile Lands. And this time around, switching up my Descendant to Bunny because of her capability to excel in the field missions with her abilities. Partway through completing the Sterile Lands, I had even more stuff to claim from the beta. I mean, shit, I ain't complaining. Also, from the missions we completed so far, we got all of the parts necessary to build the Thunder Cage, an incredible electric SMG. So I'll put that on research and we'll be receiving it very soon. In addition to ranking up our mastery rank to 5, or already, that was quick as fuck. With the Sterile Lands done, 2 things had opened up. First of all, a few side quests that I wanted to complete, introducing us to stuff like void missions, but also our next Intercept battle against the Stunning Beauty. Definitely a step up in difficulty, but nothing we still couldn't handle. Returning to Albion, we coerce with the team and get our next assignment to clear out Vespers, another location. I got my Thunder Cage too. Down in Vespers, we meet with Glay and work with her to eliminate all of the opposition located in all 4 zones.
So, it's just the 2 of us now.
I knew that son of a bitch was sketchy. Damn, I was passionate about that, huh? With Vespers done, the Executioner was the next Intercept battle to be taken on. Causing less trouble than the Stunning Beauty, we take it down quite easily. I farmed more intercept battles for gear and started research on both Freyna and Nazestra's devotion. Our next location was the Echo Swamp. We arrived and spoke with Enzo. We progressed throughout the field missions whilst tracking Jeremy. That guy, you didn't forget him already, did you? All until finding ourselves at the area missions Seed Vault and the Chapel. Am I the only one that thinks Seed Vault is a bit of a crazy name, no? Jeremy also done fucked up. And as I'm sure you expect by now, another area completed means another boss to defeat. This time round being the Dead Bride. And I'm gonna say it as it is. The snow globe that boss has is stupid. Look, it had to be said. But we still took it down. We took it down. After that boss, Freyna had finished development, and so I decided to try her out as well. In order to level her up, I went over to the Kingston Defense mission and got her all the way up to level 30 after about an hour and a half. This was before XP farming locations, okay? This was very early. After returning to base, we speak with Luna, before she was a playable character, and request her help on an upcoming mission, which we speak over with Alpha. We get down to Agna Desert and next area, speak with Marcus, and begin completing our field missions. In addition to the area missions as well, the Asylum and Caligo Ossuary. Also, Mastery Rank 10. I feel like I got that way too early into the video. Okay, well after 10 it slows down quite a lot. But Mastery Rank 10, after returning to Albion, after the Agna Desert, the Devourer was next to be taken out. I decided to level up Lepik, the character we started with, because I kind of fucked with his ultimate ability. I started to see his potential in intercept battles. But this time round, the Devourer didn't go down in one attempt, or even two or three. I queued over and over and over again, but to no success. I was even using electric damage because the Devourer was weak to electrical damage, but still nothing. Now, the reason for this boss's difficulty is that once it reaches its second phase, it places these cores around the arena, healing its health at an accelerated pace. And to stop this, you have to damage those cores enough until they're destroyed. The only problem is that when you're playing with randoms, some of them don't know this. I didn't know this the first couple times. So before you know it, the Devourer is at full health again before you can even do any damage. This became a problem because to maintain our progress throughout the story, we have to take this boss down. It felt like I only had one solution, to try and solo the boss, which initially I thought would have been even harder and counterintuitive, but considering I had public queued every boss so far, I thought I might as well try solo queuing it. So when I did, I got it straight away. What I didn't know is that when you 1v1 the boss instead of 4v1ing the boss, he has significantly reduced health and damage, making my Lepik breeze through the fight. Okay, only a few more areas left. Another boss down means another area to clear, the White Knight's Gulch. But before that, I was kind of wanting a new Descendant. So after looking at what were attainable at the time, there was a lot of talk about Valby being pretty good. So whilst I continued through the field missions in the White Knight's Gulch, I worked on getting Valby's parts so I could obtain her too. After a while, I found myself with every single one of her parts besides one, and I ran into a little bit of difficulty obtaining them. So I thought it'd be better to return to it later to see if I had better luck then. Hold up, let me get close. I did not return to it. This game got me so sidetracked. 100 hours later, I forgot I even wanted Valby. Anyway, I got the Albion's cavalry gun too. I thought that was cool. Actually, let me show you how much I ended up using it. That's it. That's all. That is my entire usage of the Albion's cavalry. I guess I just wasn't fucking with it, I don't know. I learned about assigning module types and what energy activators do from the Descendant instructor, in addition to achieving level 40 for the first time on a Descendant, whilst farming for some amorphous material. Okay, let's finally move on to the White Knight's Gulch. We speak with Eugen and Valby and complete all of the field missions where I decided to switch things up for a bit and try out Freyna, considering she wasn't far off from being my second max level character. Speak of the devil. We also did one of the area missions, Mystery's End. Despite having multiple level 40 characters now, I still started to feel a little underpowered, and this was likely due to the fact that the White Knight's Gulch was a fairly late game area. So I started to take advantage of the module system in much more depth, investing in not just some random mods that sound cool, but actual worthwhile mods attaching to my Descendants and to my guns, such as mods that increase defense, increase shield, increase the efficiency of my skills, increase crit rates, you get the idea. After the fact, I was in no way overpowered yet, but I was much more comfortable against the area's high level enemies, and with my newfound confidence, I was able to finish the second area quest in the White Knight's Gorge, Biolab. Corel was over in somewhere doing his thing, starting a war type shit, whilst I was finishing off the White Knight's Gorge, and with the White Knight's Gorge down, the objectively stupidest boss in the game was next. This guy actually had me tilted for so long. As I always do, I tried Pyro in public queue, and whilst we were trying our best, he just was not going down, so I decided to solo queue him, similarly to how I did with the Devourer, and I got even more decimated. He was skill diffing me in every way possible. I seriously needed to reconsider my approach if I wanted to beat him. I thought I'd mess around with some other Descendants. Maybe the ones I was using weren't optimal for Pyro. He was weaker to ice and toxic, so maybe I should keep those in mind for my choice of Descendant. With that in mind, I grinded out Sharon, who, whilst electric, did have an invisibility ability, which might allow me to res my teammates with much more efficiency. Sharon didn't end up being that good against Pyro, but she did end up being one of the most important Descendants in the game, but we'll return to that soon. I went back to Freyna and took heavy advantage of her ultimate, seeming to perform the best out of anything I had tried. After an ungodly amount of attempts in public queue, I was finally able to take the Pyromaniac down. After knowing I was able to beat Pyro, I wanted to take him down one more time for Bunny's quest. After we obtained Bunny way back, we received a quest to find records containing her history, which promptly directs you to defeating the Pyromaniac in order to continue on with the quest. I had found those records a little while back now, but of course I couldn't get past Pyro. So with that said, I defeated Pyro once more with Bunny to progress the quest, subsequently completing the final steps of that quest as well, to finish the one and only character quest in this game currently.
Hey, what the hell, Leopard?
After speaking with the guide, following the completion of Pyro, she directs us towards Hagios. We teleport down there, speak with J-Bat, and continue on to complete all of the field missions down here as well, in addition to the area missions The Haven and Old Mystery. Nothing too exciting happened whilst down here on Hagios, except
If this occurs at all of the prime hands, the dimensional balance will collapse completely.
yeah, that didn't look good.
The Ironheart must be contained.
With Hagios cleared, another boss awaits us, and thank God it was easy. I would not be able to deal with another Pyromania. This time round, it was the Swamp Walker. I'm pretty sure the devs just placed this guy here knowing how difficult the other were. Utilising Lepic, he goes down with ease. Now, does this thing suck, or is it just me? Pause. Maybe I don't get it, but I tried this thing out, and actually the launches in general in this game are just kind of mid, no? Anyway, we are on the last area in the game. Only one more set of field missions to do. We get down to the Volgus Fortress, speak with Ajax, and see what the fortress has to offer. Yo, high five! I didn't want one anyway. The fortress's area missions consisted of the quarantine zone and the heart of the fortress. Completing that final area mission, a sudden change occurred in the story. Don't worry, we have plot armor. We're all good, nothing to worry about. After returning to Albion, we speak with the guide and conclude our time in the story. But with the story done, that just opens up a world of options to spend time on in this game. Finishing the story opens up hard mode, a version of the map leveling every single enemy up to 100. Regardless of whether it's a beginning area or the latest area, it's the highest level excluding modifiers and potential future changes. There's also hard mode versions of the bosses that we've been combating, such as the Devourer and Pyromaniac. Yep, we gotta do them again. Which we're going to be putting as a target to achieve before these 100 hours are over. The hard mode bosses are actually probably the hardest task in the game currently. So, like I said, we'll be setting those as the target to achieve before these 100 hours are over. Now unfortunately, we are nowhere near powerful enough to jump straight into those. Even if we wanted to, we couldn't. Why? Because there's actually one more normal mode boss that we haven't taken on yet, despite the story being done, named the Hanged Man. Now he's level 95, which we're close to being able to take on, but not close enough yet. So in the meantime, I started to find the level 100 weapons that I wanted in addition to the select pieces of equipment. Holy shit, how many quests do you have, bro? Sorry, hey look, I didn't mean that, bro. Don't look at me like that, I'm sorry. Those quests were actually fairly important, one being the quest for the Hanged Man, but also a couple more quests giving us some very important knowledge and a couple nice rewards for completing them. So, next on the agenda is the Hanged Man. Let's keep this in mind. I went out into the world and got myself an Eternal Willpower, one of, if not the best, assault rifles in the game. And with it, I learned about what mods were optimal for assault rifles, and over time began to level up the gun more and more to increase its proficiency, allowing me to apply a heap of crystallization catalysts on it, but that was going to take a long time. So with the build I had on it right now and the changes I made to my Freyna, I was confident I could take on the Hanged Man. This boss could only be taken on in public queue, indicating to me that there was a challenge ahead of us. My biggest mistake, however, was going into it with no knowledge about the fight whatsoever. I definitely should have learned my lesson from the Devourer. Despite attempt after attempt, for some reason, we always got wiped at a certain point in the boss fight, and I had no idea why this was happening. I knew it must have been some type of mechanic to do with the boss, but I couldn't figure out just what it was. The only thing I had realised was when in his second phase, his eye would light up and be susceptible to damage momentarily. I was confident that that was what we needed. Admittedly, after a quick YouTube search, I looked over what others determined to be the strategy for the Hanged Man and followed in their footsteps. It turns out that what you want to be watching when fighting him is the cylindrical shaped containers below him. Over the course of the fight, they'll fill up multiple times, but if they ever fill up to the maximum possible, then it's game over. You want to intervene that process by picking up the nearby cube. It's really that simple. Partway through, he'll begin doing a big laser attack. To stop him, your team has to coordinate and collectively shoot his eye to stun him. I think we all know that's the hard part. With some revision and a little RNG on teammates, we were able to take him down. Nothing really too special happened after taking him down, but congratulations to us. Following his demise, I started to see more and more people with their shiny ultimate Descendants, and I thought it was about time for me to start grinding for mine. I deliberated on who I wanted. No, what am I kidding? I think we all know who I was going for. I must warn you, this grind took a hell of a lot of time, so don't be surprised when we're on hour 80 in 2 minutes time. Regardless, here is where Sharon's time to shine was. Her invisibility allows us to take advantage of an aspect in this game massively overlooked until today. I provided Sharon with an energy activator and was able to place a pretty good duration build on her, at least for the meantime. What this allows us to do is to farm the infiltration bases scattered throughout every part of this game, providing different amorphous material depending on the base. The first base I directed my attention towards was the one located in the Lost Supply Depot to get amorphous material 73, giving us the Enhanced Cells blueprint. After doing that, I'd learned about the importance of having a good reactor, especially for farming. So I decided to dedicate some time to getting a Thunder Cage electric singular reactor for my bunny. I didn't get it, I still don't have it. The next base I took a visit to was located in the mountaintops with the aim to get amorphous material 99. Wait, I don't think I went over actually what we need for Bunny, did I? Well, to obtain Ultimate Bunny, we need to get the blueprints for 3 of her components, the corresponding materials that are necessary to turn those blueprints into the actual part, and then obtain her code to combine all of the 3 parts into Ultimate Bunny herself. The amorphous material from earlier gave us the enhanced cells, then I continue on to the mountaintops as I had mentioned, to get myself amorphous material 99, which gave us the stabilizer blueprint. For our third part, I made my way to the base located in the defense line to obtain amorphous material 123 for the spiral catalyst blueprint. With the 3 blueprints obtained, I constructed them and made my way to get the Ultimate Bunny code, the final part that we needed to construct Ultimate Bunny. Which thankfully didn't end up taking me as long as the other parts had, and after a couple hours, I was able to obtain the Ultimate Bunny code from amorphous material 82. Now before we craft Ultimate Bunny, let's get our last mastery milestone for these 100 hours. During hour 83, I achieved mastery level 15. That probably sounds like quite a lot, right? Well, whilst I'm proud of it, That's only half of the total mastery ranks in the game. Yeah. Well, anyway, Ultimate Bunny. 36 hours, bro? Oh my god. Fuck it, I'm gonna make you guys wait as well. Any subs? Any subscribers? Okay, well, too far, bro, too far. Whilst Ultimate Bunny was cooking, I decided to get a few very important things. A lot of farming has taken place since hour 50, a lot of which won't be included, but what's important is that by hour 90, we had finally obtained our Ultimate Bunny. But beyond that, we also got Enzo, multiple Thunder Cages to upgrade our own, millions of Cupia, and tens of millions of gold, all with the aim of making the best possible build to take on the hard mode bosses. I did try my luck at the reactor again, and I still didn't get it.
Ready to be shocked?
Jesus Christ. I'm not saying anything. Straight away, I placed an energy reactor on both Ultimate Bunny and on Enzo and started to get their builds in order. I also decided to put Bunny in something a little less distracting, if you can call a maid dress less distracting. And of course, to level Bunny up, I'm sure you experienced players know exactly where I went. For some quick gold, to level up some mods I had in mind for the hard mode bosses, I went over to the abandoned refinery unit and went crazy. I also might have something to admit. Hour 94 saw Ultimate Valby come to the game, so I kind of maybe spent some time farming her too. Are you fucking serious? But hey, it's hour 98, so you know what that means. Let's take these hard mode bosses down. I picked up a brand new level 100 tamer, whacked an energy reactor on it, and re-rolled its stats to exactly what I thought was best in slot for my playstyle. You also know I had to drip the boy Enzo out head to toe, damn! And now, it's boss time. The first 5 hard mode bosses were ones which we've actually taken on already, just that now they were much harder than their predecessors. The Executioner goes down, the Dead Bride goes down, and even the hard mode Devourer goes down without any difficulty. I guess all that Devourer training paid off. But next was my arch nemesis, the Pyromaniac. Okay, luckily for me, Pyro didn't end up being as bad as I might have thought. Don't get me wrong, a Pyro with double the damage and double the health isn't exactly what I wanted to see on that fine morning, but he got put in the ground. Swamp Walker was our final returning boss, and like his normal mode version, poses little difficulty. And with that, there's 4 hard mode bosses left, all of which are completely new, and introduce new mechanics which we need to learn to take them down. Well, not Obstructor, he's easy. Oh! Oh! Let me out! Oh. He died. But Frostwalker posed some difficulty. Similarly to that of the Hanged Man, the Frostwalker has an instant wipe mechanic, which I had no idea about going into the fight, leading me to have a lot of failures. But after revising the strategy, coordinating with the team, and realising what I had to do differently, I went into it ready to take it down. Now what that was a flying Kyle. However, my lawyers have said I can speak no further on this topic. We take those. And now, the final act, the Molten Fortress. Once again, he had mechanics which we had not seen before, therefore trial and error was necessary. The boss ends up being pretty normal until you enter its second phase, in which it will dig into the ground and emerge pylons which need to be connected correctly to bring the Molten Fortress back up out of the ground. It's one of those bosses where, on the first fight, you have no idea what the fuck is going on, but after getting it a few times, it's clockwork. Funnily enough, as soon as the clock had struck 100 hours, I was able to get one final run in and complete the Molten Fortress. Those of you with a keen eye may have noticed that there's one boss I haven't addressed yet, Gluttony. Gluttony was released with a recent update bringing Ultimate Valby and Luna to the game, and I attempted him. Keep in mind, he was strictly a public queue boss, meaning you can only go into him with other people, but every attempt I had at him, everyone kept leaving. I don't even, what did I do? I didn't do nothing. I promise.